For day 2, we rise to the occasion early, getting a head start to what's supposed to be our most challenging day on the trail. 2 mountain passes loom overhead, and our lungs get an instant kick into high gear with a more than 600-meter uphill climb to Pukakasa, then through the tundra up to Buena Negra, where we'll reach our highest altitude yet. It's downhill from there as we dip into the Sacred Valley, stopping at more ruins before reaching camp for the night. But first, we pick up some new recruits. The first pass takes us through a small mountain community, dotted with homes and crops, and some new furry friends.
Hey, little Pacha. Hello. You can come with us all the way to the top. You can come with us all the way up. Look what you did.
These dogs, they're following us up from the little houses further down the mountain, and it's just so encouraging having them here. Maybe it was the dogs, or maybe it was the morning coca tea, but we were in some pretty high spirits. You know what? This isn't that bad.
The lack of heat is what's making us super blessed right now.
The sun is kind of trying to peek out, and
we're like
trying to tell it to stay
go
away.
Sun. Go.
It's more tundra here now, and over 4,200 meters up, it's getting pretty hard to breathe. This is, I think, the highest I've ever been. God, it's not easy. Ironically, we're soon begging for at least a little bit of sun, as the crisp, cold mountain air takes the color from our faces, but not our optimism. So we made it to the first pass.
We did.
Yes. Behind us is supposed to be this beautiful view of Mount Veronica, but there's too much fog. Yeah, it's too thick. So on the way up, chest pounding.
I stayed at the back and just went as slow as humanly possible because that's what made it doable for me.
Yeah, you go at your own pace, right?
Yeah.
Over and between the rolling hills of the tundra, we find our way up Buena Negra, an ascension that reaps magnificent rewards. Welcome.
Hello.
Made it to the top of the second pass. Funny because you think downhill, or you think that it's much easier, but it's definitely somehow the same pace, if not a little slower, because you gotta be super careful. Turns out descending Buena Negra isn't to be taken lightly. Steep declines and loose rock prove tricky for footing as we slip and slide down into the valley. But even as our toes and knees ache from the descent, the beautiful views persist. And atop some cliffs to the west, a breathtaking surprise. Man, we get closer and closer to Mount Veronica, and then you think that's the most beautiful thing you've ever seen, and then you see this. We reach another ceremonial site of the Incas, this one in Tipunco, a sun gate used for mountain worship, as Mount Veronica looms watchfully overhead. It's a view impossible to forget, and as we gaze, we learn more about the honor of Inca sacrifice. While animals such as llamas are put on the offering table, people, even children, are chosen or volunteer for the duty. And while that might cause a little discomfort, our guide tells us Inca sacrifice was largely non-violent. Instead of cutting and blood sacrifice, methods thought to have been used by the Maya and Aztecs, Incas were drugged and sedated. And while some were apparently taken out by strangulation or a blow to the head, victims were thought to more or less slip away quietly. It's a lot to take in by the near end of our trek, and with our camp just down the hill, rest is next on the agenda. So we're at the campsite. We're in our tent. night 2.
Mm-hmm.
And this is exactly what I was waiting for. We awake to the last day on the trail, supposedly an easy one. It's a downhill hike east into the Inca Quarry, and then we descend further, following the Urubamba River, and eventually crossing the southeast bridge back into Ollantaytambo. And while the thought of finishing the trek is bittersweet, we're reignited with vigor as the growing sights and sounds of the town remind us of the coming accomplishment. Our route takes us through a quarry, heavily used in past eras, where Incas would collect massive granite boulders and supposedly, with impressive stonemasonry, use them to build Ollantaytambo. But it's not only an area of creation, it's also one of death. Our guide points out a group of chulpas. They're actually pre-Inca structures, made about 1,000 years ago, and later also used by the Incas. They were used for storing mummies, either families or individual leaders who had one built just for them. These are all ideas that seem out of reach, concepts out of history books and movies, but there's something striking about seeing the inside of a tomb with your own eyes. Drake is making fun of me because I'm wearing the pants I bought to be Lara Croft for Halloween, and it wasn't really on purpose, but raiding a tomb is essentially all my dreams coming true. Well, you know, not raiding a tomb, but exploring one. In the next video, the final destination. 3 days, what's 45 more minutes? Yeah. We push for one more climb at Machu Picchu.